I have clients that have therapists, marriage counselors, in-person trainers, business coaches, you name it. I am one piece of the puzzle. And they value each one of those relationships because it helps them get to where they need to be. There is absolutely no person that you admire anywhere in the world that has not achieved what they have achieved without the help of others. My name is Brian Pannuzzo. I help successful professionals build an elite body and mind without sacrificing time at work or with their family. I know your life because I lived it for the last 20 years plus of my own. And I also help others who are just like you do the same exact thing. Welcome to the Success Lift podcast. My name is Brian. Thank you for being back with me again this week. I often open the show with that line, with that phrase, with those words. They're not corny taglines. They're not just sentences that I may or may not read off of a computer that's in front of me. It's real. There are so many people out there just like you. The mistake that I made for so long, the mistake that most people that I speak to make is that they believe that they have a unique set of circumstances. And my hope is listening to this podcast for you, along with maybe consuming some of my other content, my daily email, my LinkedIn posts, my Instagram posts. I hope you start to realize that a lot of the problems that you may hear me reference, the solutions to things that are going on in people's lives, are applicable to yours. And if they're not exactly like yours, which I get, sometimes they're not always exactly like yours, they're pretty darn close. I mean, it's not more than one standard deviation away. If we chunk up enough, our problems all become literally the same. Generic AF, as they say. If you don't know what AF is, ask one of your kids. They'll know. So my hope for you is that each week that you tune in, you take something from this. You get some value out of this. You apply some of the lessons that I have learned, like I said, living your life I'm 47, living a corporate professional's life for over 25 years now, 20 in maybe your specific seat. Like, I work with people who do the job that I used to do. Like, literally, I used to do. Couldn't be more comparable. Then there's people who are so slightly different. Ultimately, though, if we chunk up enough, we're doing different things inside of corporate America. We're going into an office. We're completing different tasks on a daily basis. But there are the same pressures. There's the same stress. There are the same demands on our time. We're pulled in the same multiple directions throughout our week. And the solutions to those problems are the same. And that's the important thing. And that's what I hope you start to take away from my content if you haven't already. And if you have taken that away, that's probably why you've come back, because each week you hope to grab another nugget from me. And so thank you for being here. And I hope to have a bunch of nuggets for you this week when we talk about this week's topic, which is becoming an elite, in parentheses, corporate athlete. I was an athlete, as I have mentioned to you in the past. Last week's episode was about me going into my college sports hall of fame as a basketball player, which was an incredible achievement on my part, I guess, but more importantly, an incredible experience for me to have gone through over the last several weeks. The ceremony was a couple of weeks ago now, so I've had multiple weeks to decompress and to think about things. I tried to apply some share some lessons that I took from that weekend last week. So if you didn't hear last week's podcast, I would encourage you to. It's not just me taking a victory lap about my college career 25 plus years ago. It's me talking through some things that I learned and that I thought about a lot in deep thought on plane rides to and from, the East Coast, West Coast, back and forth, on car rides, driving up to Burlington, Vermont from Boston, Massachusetts. Just having some quiet time to myself, just being reflective, walking around my college campus, talking to people that I've known for 30 years. Was really special. And so that podcast, I think, will be incredibly helpful for you. But it kind of kept me on this theme of like being an athlete because, I'm 47, as I've said before, and I think I just said a couple minutes ago, but I'm in pretty darn good shape. And my goal is to remain in air quotes, an athlete. Okay. Now, am I the athlete that I once was? No, in many respects, I absolutely am not. I used to be able to jump higher, run faster, bench press more, all the things. But am I pretty darn close? In some categories, absolutely. In others, not too bad. Relatively speaking, and I know this crowd knows the difference between absolute performance and relative performance. Relative performance, I'm knocking it out of the park right now. There are 47-year-olds out there who are limping around, just taking, random steps. And I'm not one of those guys. And I'm not one of those guys because of the work that I put into it. Understand that 10 years ago, I was one of those guys. I was one of those prototypical ex-athletes limping around, talking about the good old days, believing that I was supposed to be broken down because I had an athletic career, because I sat in a sedentary culture at work, because I had a long commute, because I was out multiple nights a week, because I drank and I did drugs as part of a culture that I was in. Like, I believed all this stuff. I've said this before. I was in love with that story. That was my story. I was so in love with it. So in love with it. I didn't want to give, I'm clenching my fists right now if you don't see me on video on YouTube. I couldn't hold that story tight enough. You couldn't tell me there was another way because I believed that was my destiny. And if you experience any of those things that I just said, maybe a marriage that's mediocre, not terrible, but not on fire, certainly not what it was when you guys met. I experienced all of these things, not having enough time for my kids, seeing them for the really important stuff, but wishing that I could do more, constantly being pulled in different directions, feeling like my schedule had total control over me, being in this proverbial mixer, just sloshed around over and over again each week, playing whack-a-mole, as I've said before. And I have figured out a way to not feel that way. I have battle-tested that approach on now hundreds of people that are just like you inside of corporate America, currently with 55 individual one-on-one clients, multiple teams inside of corporate America. And I will continue to do the same. I'll continue to iterate, continue to find the best ways for you to get the most value out of your career and your life as a husband, a father, a mother, whoever it is that you are. My goal is to make your life easier, to have you get these things done easier, to do it faster, right? To do it faster and ultimately hold on to those gains for the long term, because a lot of people can get results in 30 days. A lot of people can do some crazy stuff, challenges for 30 days, 60 days. But what fruit do you have? What are your results over a 1-year time period, over a 3-year time period, over a 5-year time period? My life has gone like this over the last 10 years. But if you look, it's continued to go like this over the last year and last 3 years because of the consistent work that I put in. And so, yes, it might happen just like looking at a stock chart where you have some big gains, consolidate a little bit, maybe give a little bit back, big gains, consolidate a little bit. That's normal stuff. But we don't want to make, a year's worth of progress and then go nowhere for multiple years or go backwards, which is what happens to most people. And so while I was on this topic of thinking about athletes in my athletic career, I kind of thought about, elite athletes and what they do in order to maintain their physical prowess, their elite results, extend their career, to be on top of the 1% of the 1% of the 1%. What do these people do? What is their mentality? What is their mindset? What are the resources, most importantly, that they have around them? As I've started to get connected to more and more people operating at a really high level, not just in sports, but in business, I've started to take notice, obviously what they do is very impressive and their achievements are very, what are their environments? Who do they surround themselves with? And one thing that I talked about last week, being part of a team, really started to come to the forefront of my mind as I was thinking about, what do incredibly impressive elite athletes do? And when I say athletes, I'm speaking in the sense of a corporate athlete. But a lot of the analogies I may bring up in the next 10 minutes or so revolves around a sports person, right? What are the teams that they build around them? And how is that comparable to maybe what you can do in your life and what I see, more importantly, what I see other people do, the people that I work with, I am some people's single coach, but I have clients that have multiple coaches in business, coaches in mental performance, coaches in health and fitness, in-person trainers. Like I do their health programming, their nutrition programming. We talk about mindset. I may do some of their training, their physical programming, but I have people that take that program and they actually work out with someone in person because they know the value of having in-person accountability, somebody there to push you, somebody there that's going to hold you accountable when you said you're going to show up at the gym at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. It's easy to not show up to the gym when there's no one else there waiting for you. When there's somebody waiting for you, you ain't missing that. You ain't hitting snooze. So I wanted to take a look at and kind of analyze, what is the difference between some of these high-level people winning and losing, and how maybe you can apply some of it to your life. And the first thing that, I think it's important to acknowledge is, as I just mentioned, winning and losing is a very fine line in sports. It oftentimes can be milliseconds, seconds. It could be one play here or there. It could be a marginal amount of effort given over a period of time that is measured in fractions, for lack of a better phrase. And in life and in business, maybe the margins aren't that razor thin, but they're pretty thin. They're a lot more narrow than we give credit to. I can think about some of the most accomplished people that I've worked with, and it's not like when you look at my effort versus their effort on one particular day, it's like a massive difference. But if you look at what they do over a decade, that starts to compound. Everybody knows the importance of compound interest in areas of our life, particularly in our financial lives. But as you also know, I think, because maybe listening to this podcast and other reasons, that compound interest is very powerful in every area of our life. And what elite performers do, especially elite athletes do, is they do the boring stuff. They master the mundane for decades. They do things when no one's looking, which is really, really important. The things that they're willing to do when there is 0 people in the stands allow them to do the things that they do when there are hundreds of thousands and millions of people watching. And I think that's a mistake that a lot of individuals make. Number one, that they go at it alone. We'll touch on that in a moment. Professional athletes, elite people in business do not go at it alone. They have teams of people around them, of support around them. But individuals typically go at it alone. We tend to try to figure things out on our own. I mean, you don't even mow your own goddamn lawn, for Christ's sake. What are you doing going at it alone? You have a pool guy show up to your house to shock the pool, to skim it, to clean it. You have landscapers show up. It's going to be winter soon in the Northeast. Sorry to break it to you. You have people show up and plow your driveway. You go to auto mechanics, you go to doctors. You have wonderful people that help you at home, maybe with your childcare or clean your house. Yet in many other areas of our life, we decide to go at it alone, and elite athletes do not do that. Elite athletes have their head coach if they're on a team. They may have a strength and conditioning coach. They may have somebody doing their nutrition, like a dietitian or some sort of performance coach. They have people that handle their recovery and body work, trainers, physical therapists. They have medical professionals on their staff. They have mindset coaches and psychologists. They have data around them, especially these days. Data has become off the charts from an important standpoint, and also just from, understanding where you are. Like it's just become something that people are really obsessed with. Maybe it's gone a little overboard. And then they have all sorts of support staff helping them do the little things that they don't have time to do so that they can do what they're best at, which is their craft. And it's not uncommon to have, I don't know, I mean, I probably just named 8, maybe 10 people. It's not uncommon to have 5 to 10 full-time staff members as an elite athlete. We've all heard, stats around some of the bigger, stars in the game spending like a LeBron James or a Steph Curry spending over $1 million a year on their bodies. On their bodies. Do you have to spend $1 million a year? Probably not. Probably not. Should you spend more than 0? Probably. Definitely. Would the return on that investment be astronomical for you on a $10,000 to $20,000 a year investment for you? Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I don't have to pontificate about that. I know it. I know it in my clients' lives. I know it in my own life. I have multiple coaches that I work with. I have coaches in an area that I'm actually pretty well versed in that I work with. I spent 2 years inside of a health coaching program. I was the client. I wanted to take my own physical body and results to the next level. So I hired a coach. I have somebody do my training programming now, my gym lifting, for those who don't know what training programming is. Why do I do that? One, because there's people that are much smarter out there than me. There's a coach that specifically I sought out to help me with some specific achievements that I wanted to go after. Physical performance, being more athletic, running better, jumping more, being more of an athlete again, similar theme, right? If I want to be an athlete, if I want to be an elite athlete at 47 years old, I can't do it by myself. So I went and hired them. I have a business coach that I speak to, that I get resources from, that I learn from. Somebody who's done what I am looking to do. If you are looking for mentors in your life, I would highly encourage you to seek people out who have done what you want to do. And so find someone who appears to be living your life the way you would like to live it. That is a telltale sign for me in a coach. Are they living the life that I desire to live? Have they done the thing that I want to do? If you have not, I can't hire you. That's my personal belief. Does that hold true for everyone? Are there personal trainers out there who are not in great shape, who are extremely knowledgeable? Yes, there are. Would I hire one? No, I wouldn't. Are there nutrition coaches out there who are overweight, who are pretty good at what they do? Yes, there are. Would I hire one? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't hire a divorced marriage coach. I wouldn't hire a broke business coach. I wouldn't hire a psychotic mindset coach or therapist. Get the point? Good. And that's what I often hear from clients. I often hear that they see me living the life that they want to live. They see me doing things that they desire to do. And I take great pride in that. And when you get on the inside in my programs, you get to see even more. And I am very proud of my effort. And I do not want anyone that is paying me to outperform me. So I make it a point that they don't. But you're welcome to try. You're welcome to try. So you need to find people living your life. And most elite performers have coaches who are experts in their field. And I would highly encourage you to find some of those as well. I looked up some numbers because I was curious. Let's take this away from, the basketball court, the football field, the baseball field, the athletic component, because I'm not talking to anybody who's a professional athlete right now. Shout out to anybody who's a pro athlete listening to me. I think you're few and far between. I have corporate athletes that listen to me. And so taking some of this and applying it to your life is really important because the stats are undeniable. I looked at some of the stats. It's wild how impressive coaching can be in an executive's life. Here are a couple cool stats. Organizations that offer training alone, I would imagine, this is from American University, I would imagine that's like in-house training on executive coaching, maybe. They see a 22% rise in productivity. But when they combine it with one-on-one coaching, it jumps to 88%. It's a big jump. Coached executives report a 70% increase in individual performance, 50% increase in team performance, and 48% increase in organizational performance. Those are big numbers. A Metrics Global study reported a 788% ROI on executive coaching. In a CCL study of 240 experienced leaders, 98% increased overall leadership capability, 95% boosted job performance, 96% drove greater business success, 92% strengthened their ability to lead under pressure. According to the CJPI, 70% of executives who work with a coach report improved work performance and leadership effectiveness. 86% of organizations that invest in coaching report seeing a return on their investment. These are some pretty powerful numbers. Now, I haven't vetted all of these. I chat GPT'd a lot of this stuff. So don't hold me to the numbers. And obviously I'm sharing those with you because they appear to be favorable towards the message that I'm delivering. But I can speak to the ROI that I've seen inside of my own corporate program. I've seen companies have their best year ever while working with me. Now, was it because they were working with me? I don't know. Was I a small part? I believe I was. I've seen employees dramatically change, quite frankly, their lives. I've had employees in some of my corporate programs say that the program, my program, High Performance Health, changed their life. They credit my program with changing their life. Those are big words. I did not make those up. Those have been spoken in testimonials from my program. Blood work has massively improved. People have taken control of their schedule. They've bought back more of their time. They're more present with their families. They're in better shape. They're more conscious of the choices that they're making. All because they're aware of a lot of these things that are going on. See, the thing is that most people are not unaware that these are issues in their life that need to be addressed. They're just unaware how to take the first step and take control. Because as I've said in the past, oftentimes our entire lives are not burning down. I mean, that's a very clear signal for you to do something. When you have to get checked into a hospital, when something dramatic happens. But for most people, that dramatic moment is still years away from happening. But the dangerous path that a lot of people go on is that they continue the status quo because they do have some evidence to support that what they're doing is working. Money keeps coming in every month. Pay keeps increasing year over year. Titles keep getting issued to you. You are making progress. You have evidence. I always do this with my thumbs. I point behind me. I'm not pointing to the bookshelf right behind me. I'm actually pointing to the proverbial results that I had in my life. Big house, great job, couple of nice cars, nice vacations, golf membership, board of trustees at my club, youngest person ever, or one of the youngest people ever, whatever the stat was, I don't know. I had evidence to support that my life was actually going in a really positive direction because it wasn't all just going straight downhill. But there were these little moments, there were these habits that I was building, these things that I was doing over the course of time that were starting to compound negatively against me. And you had to look a little deeper in order to find them. Until one day, that noise was me just taking a fist and putting it into my open hand. I got punched in the face. I didn't have a plan, as Mike Tyson says. I didn't even have a plan before I got punched in the face. Then I got punched in the face. I definitely didn't have a plan. I had to scramble real quick. Fortunately, my scrambling resulted in some success. My success resulted in some motivation. My motivation resulted in me wanting to do it more and more and refining a process that ultimately 10 plus years later has evolved into a coaching program for people just like you, for corporate athletes. I'm one of the people on the team of my clients. For some of my clients, I'm currently their only team member in a paid form. For others, I'm one of many. I have clients that have therapists, marriage counselors, in-person trainers, business coaches, you name it. I am one piece of the puzzle. And they value each one of those relationships because it helps them get to where they need to be. There is absolutely no person that you admire anywhere in the world that has not achieved what they have achieved without the help of others. And again, I'll say it again, the mistake I see so often is that individuals go about it alone. And so do you need a recovery, a recovery and physical therapist? I don't know, maybe you do. Maybe you do. Do you need a business coach? You may not. You may have a mentor that you just follow because you've worked for a person for 20 years. You don't have to pay them. All of these roles don't have to be paid, by the way. This isn't a pitch for you to just start spending money on coaching. It is a little bit. You can find some of these roles in your life via accountability, via the circle that you run with. You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Who are you spending time with? Are you spending time with people like me virtually? Are you reading my daily email? Are you getting my LinkedIn posts? Are you paying attention to me on Instagram? Are you tuning into this on a weekly basis? Like when clients are inside of my program, they get me on a daily basis, baby. You can't get away from me. I am providing value on a daily basis inside my program to every single one of my clients. And the beauty is, like, it's done in the background. You can just pop open our app and you can see what's going on today. You can see what I have to say. You can see how I'm living my life. You check in with me on a weekly basis. I give you custom feedback via video. We speak whenever you need. You have 24/7 access to me. Some clients talk to me every single week. Others don't need to. And that's cool. We're texting frequently. There's a private messenger inside my app. There's a community board inside my app as well to foster some camaraderie, a little bit of competition. I just started a leaderboard for referrals. All of a sudden, I got clients chirping at me that I missed a referral here and there. They should be higher. They should have higher totals. Create a little competition. You want to see people get fired up. All of this stuff I'm talking about is very similar themed. It's making sure you build a team. Build a team like you are an elite, parentheses, corporate athlete, because you are. You're an elite professional. You've achieved things that most people in the professional world have not. You're likely making an income that is far greater than the average American. Congratulations. Maybe it's time you start assembling a team around you so that you can continue to extend your career. Now, obviously, you don't need a health coach to extend your professional career. I'll take that back. Maybe you do. Because at some point, you may not be able to perform at the same level because your energy sucks, because you're overweight, because you're always tired, because you're drinking too much. Maybe you're forced to retire early because you have health issues. Maybe a poor marriage takes out half of your income or your net worth and forces you to work longer. There are so many reasons and so many things that can throw you off the path that you're on right now. Building a team around you will help you with your blind spots. We can't see a lot of things in our lives. It's important that we have others to provide visibility. I often use the analogy of riding shotgun in the car on our cross-country journey. I am riding shotgun. I cannot drive your car. You have to drive the car. But I can help you with turn-by-turn directions. I can let you know when maybe we should take a detour. I can let you know when we're running low on gas and we should pull over. And oh, by the way, here's a great gas station. It's also next to a good spot to get some food. Here's a great place to stay over. And also, what's very valid sometimes is we should actually take a pause from the trip, the main purpose of what we're doing right now, and go experience something. There's an amazing college football game in the town that we're rolling through. We should check it out. Who cares if we get to our destination 24 hours later? We're going to remember this experience forever. There's 100,000 people going to this game. Why don't we go? Check it out. And then my job is to get your ass out of the parking lot and not tailgate for an extra 4 or 5 days, which is what people do. My job is to put you back on the road, get you moving again. Coaching will help you do these things. Without coaching with my training, for example, I would go in the gym and I would just like fucking do random stuff. I do it all the time. And guys, I do this for a living. So if I'm doing this, you're doing this. I would just go through motions. But I can't, because I have a structured program. I have sets and reps to follow. I have to follow up with my coach, to check in with him. My clients check in with me on a weekly basis. I give them feedback. There's a two-way connection point over and over again. Constant accountability. When you have constant accountability, you can't hide. I know whether or not you checked in. I know the last time we spoke. I know the last time we texted. I know the last time you logged food. You can't hide from me. It's crazy. But that alone will increase your performance. Knowing that someone's just simply paying attention will increase your performance. So to review, if you want to take your corporate career to the next level, build a team for yourself. Now that might mean bringing resources in to help build your team inside of the office, to help improve the results of you and your organization. If I can be of help with that, let me know. We're taking on another team or two potentially in the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter is an amazing time for you to close out the year strong, to survive the holidays, and to go into 2026 sprinting. Most companies will coast into the end of the year. They will allow the holiday season to bruise and batter them. Then they will spend a couple of weeks in January getting ramped back up. Don't be like everybody else. Have a better plan than that. That's a generic plan. Have a plan that puts you on the offensive heading into the end of the year, that gives you the tools to play defense when you need during a busy holiday season, and to hit the ground running on January 2nd. It might be as an individual. You might need to build a team as an individual. You may need better resources around you so that you can thrive outside of the office, so that you can do what you do best inside the office. And if you think that any of this is going to cost you your professional career, I can just say you're flat out wrong. I've never worked with anybody who has made less money or been less successful professionally because of their work with me. And that doesn't mean it's because I'm amazing. It just means that when you take control of aspects of your life outside of the office, your life inside flourishes. Full stop. That's it. No need to talk anymore. Take control of your life outside the office and watch what happens to your professional career. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you back here next week.